Welcome to the hidden wealth coins. Hidden inside ordinary pockets and forgotten jars, these small copper coins carry secrets powerful enough to shock the world. A single wheat penny, ignored for decades, can rewrite destiny overnight. Born in times of struggle and survival, these cents now command obsession, emotion, and unbelievable demand. If you own one, you may be holding history, mystery, and a fortune that could change everything forever without ever knowing its true power. First up, the 1935 wheat penny is one of those American coins that looks simple at first glance but carries a deep historical soul behind its copper surface. Born during a time when the United States was slowly standing up after the Great Depression, this 1-cent coin represents hope, survival, and everyday struggle. In 1935, money was not just currency, it was power, security, and dignity. The wheat penny was in the pockets of workers, farmers, shopkeepers, and children buying candy for a single cent. Every coin from that year silently witnessed a nation rebuilding itself, and that historical weight alone makes the 1935 wheat penny far more meaningful than its face value. What truly fascinates collectors is not just the year stamped on the coin, but the story it tells through its metal, color, and condition. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front was already iconic by 1935, symbolizing unity and sacrifice, while the wheat ears on the back reflected America's agricultural backbone. These coins were made to circulate heavily, not to be saved, which is why finding one today in exceptional condition feels almost unbelievable. Each surviving example is a tiny time capsule, carrying decades of handling, loss, rediscovery, and survival through generations. Now here is where imagination meets reality and rumors begin to spread. Many people hear stories of wheat pennies worth millions of dollars and immediately assume every old cent is a hidden fortune. The truth is more complex and far more interesting. A normal 1935 wheat penny in circulated condition is not worth millions, but certain rare states of preservation, mint characteristics, and unusual production mistakes can dramatically increase its value. Coins that escaped heavy use and still retain original shine, sharp details, and natural color become increasingly rare as time passes. Collectors value condition almost like art collectors value an untouched painting. A 1935 wheat penny that looks nearly new, with strong wheat lines and a clear Lincoln portrait, becomes a premium collectible. When a coin shows minimal wear despite being nearly a century old, it raises one powerful question. How did it survive so perfectly? That mystery alone increases demand. Over time, the best preserved examples rise in value not because of hype, but because supply quietly disappears while interest continues to grow. The real excitement begins when people talk about unusual versions of the 1935 wheat penny. During mass production, small errors could occur, and those errors create legends. Off-center strikes, double details, unusual metal tones, or abnormal thickness can transform an ordinary cent into something extraordinary. These coins are not created intentionally, which makes them unpredictable and extremely desirable. When collectors discover one, competition follows, and prices can rise sharply depending on how dramatic and authentic the error is. Another layer of value comes from where the coin was produced. Different mints struck coins slightly differently, and subtle variations matter deeply in the collector world. Even when millions were produced, survival rates in high quality are very low today. Coins that spent decades hidden in jars, drawers, or collections avoided the damage of circulation, making them far scarcer than raw mintage numbers suggest. Over time, the gap between common and exceptional examples becomes massive in terms of price. Many dramatic stories online claim that a single wheat penny can make someone a billionaire overnight, but the real power of this coin lies in long-term collecting, education, and patience. Fortunes in coins are rarely instant. They are built by understanding rarity, authenticity, and demand. A 1935 wheat penny becomes truly valuable when it sits at the intersection of history, condition, and uniqueness. That combination is rare, and when it appears, serious money follows. The historical environment of 1935 also adds emotional value. This was a world without digital money, without credit cards, where 1 cent still mattered. A wheat penny could buy bread, candy, or contribute to a meal. That emotional connection fuels collecting today. People are not just buying copper, they are buying a story of resilience, simplicity, and survival. Coins that emotionally connect with collectors often hold value better than those that are merely rare. Another misunderstood point is cleaning. Many people destroy value without realizing it. A naturally aged 1935 wheat penny is far more valuable than one that has been scrubbed to shine unnaturally. Collectors respect originality, even if it comes with toning or age marks. The coin's surface tells its life story, and altering that story removes authenticity. Preserving a coin correctly can mean the difference between modest value and serious collector interest. As decades pass, the number of untouched 1935 wheat pennies will continue to shrink. Coins are lost, damaged, melted, or improperly stored every year. Meanwhile, new collectors enter the market constantly, driven by nostalgia, history, and investment curiosity. That imbalance between supply and demand slowly pushes values upward, especially for high-grade and unusual examples. This is how ordinary coins quietly become extraordinary over time. The Wheat Penny series itself plays a major role in value perception. It is one of the most beloved American coin designs ever created. Collectors build entire collections around it, and the 1935 issue acts as a bridge between early and later years of the series. That placement makes it historically important within the timeline of American coinage, strengthening its appeal even further. When people say a coin has the power to change fortune, what they often mean is potential. The 1935 wheat penny holds potential because it sits at the crossroads of history, scarcity, and collector passion. While not every example is a treasure, the right one, in the right condition, with the right characteristics, can be life-changing. Knowledge is what unlocks that power, not rumors or exaggerated claims. In the end, the 1935 wheat penny is not just about money. It is about awareness, patience, and respect for history. Those who understand coins do not rush to sell. They study, preserve, and wait. Sometimes value grows quietly for decades before revealing itself. If you ever hold a 1935 wheat penny, you are holding more than a cent. You are holding a fragment of American history, shaped by time, carrying the silent possibility of something far greater than its humble beginning. Second up, the 1945 wheat penny is not just a 1-cent coin, it is a silent witness to one of the most powerful moments in human history. This coin was born at the exact time when World War II was ending, when the world was exhausted, broken, and desperate for peace. In the United States, factories were shifting from weapons to civilian life, soldiers were returning home, and families were trying to rebuild normal lives. The 1945 wheat penny circulated through hands that had survived fear, loss, and sacrifice, making it one of the most emotionally charged coins ever struck by America. When you hold a 1945 wheat penny, you are holding a piece of victory, relief, and transition. The image of Abraham Lincoln on the front symbolized unity at a time when the nation needed healing, while the wheat ears on the reverse reminded Americans of survival, food security, and growth after hardship. This was not a luxury coin, it was a working coin, heavily used by people who counted every cent. Because of that heavy use, most examples were worn down, scratched, and lost, which is why surviving pieces in outstanding condition feel almost unreal today. The idea of unimaginable wealth connected to this coin comes from a powerful truth in the coin world. Rarity is not only about age, but about survival. Millions of 1945 wheat pennies were produced, yet very few escaped circulation without damage. Coins that somehow remained untouched, sharp, and original are now incredibly difficult to find. Over time, collectors learned that condition transforms common history into elite rarity. A nearly perfect 1945 wheat penny stands like a survivor that refused to be erased by time. Stories of million-dollar wheat pennies are often misunderstood, but they are rooted in real collector behavior. Coins that combine extreme preservation, historical importance, and unusual characteristics can reach astonishing prices. The 1945 wheat penny sits at a powerful historical moment, and when that moment is paired with extraordinary condition, collector competition becomes intense. Wealthy collectors are not buying copper, they are buying the closest thing to time travel that money can offer. What truly drives excitement is the mystery surrounding individual coins. Every 1945 wheat penny has a unique journey. Some passed through countless hands, while others sat forgotten in drawers, jars, or old collections. When a coin emerges today with blazing detail, strong wheat lines, and a sharp Lincoln portrait, it feels almost impossible. That sense of disbelief fuels desire, and desire fuels value. The rarer the survival story, the higher the emotional price collectors are willing to pay. Another powerful factor behind extreme value is uniqueness. Coins from massive production years were never meant to be special, which is why anything unusual instantly becomes legendary. Subtle production irregularities, striking differences, or unexpected visual traits turn an ordinary cent into a once-in-a-lifetime find. These coins exist outside normal expectations, and when discovered, they shake the collecting world. That is where stories of overnight fortune are born, not from fantasy, but from rare reality. The 1945 Wheat Penny also benefits from timing within the Wheat series itself. It stands near the end of the Wheat design era, carrying the maturity of a long-running series and the emotional weight of a post-war world. Collectors often seek coins that represent turning points, and 1945 is exactly that. It marks the end of global conflict and the beginning of modern America, giving the coin symbolic power beyond metal and minting. Many people damage their own future wealth by misunderstanding preservation. A naturally aged 1945 Wheat Penny is far more respected than one that has been cleaned or altered. Collectors value honesty in a coin, even if that honesty includes age and tone. Once a coin's surface is disturbed, its story is rewritten, and much of its potential disappears forever. True value lives in originality, patience, and restraint. As years pass, the number of untouched 1945 Wheat Pennies continues to decline. Coins are lost, mishandled, or destroyed, while interest in historical collectibles only grows. New generations of collectors are drawn to tangible history, especially objects connected to world-changing moments. This slow disappearance combined with rising curiosity creates a silent pressure that pushes values upward over time, particularly for elite examples. The idea that a single coin can change a life overnight is not about luck alone, it is about awareness. People who recognize value before others do are the ones who benefit most. A 1945 Wheat Penny in exceptional condition is not something to rush into selling. Knowledge separates those who lose value from those who unlock it. The coin rewards patience, not impulse. Emotion plays a massive role in this market. Coins connected to war, peace, and survival carry a depth that modern currency cannot replicate. Collectors feel something when they hold a 1945 Wheat Penny, and that emotional reaction translates directly into demand. Demand backed by history is stronger than hype, and stronger demand creates lasting value. The true power of the 1945 Wheat Penny lies in what it represents rather than what it promises. It represents endurance, transition, and the closing of one of the darkest chapters in human history. When collectors chase this coin, they are chasing meaning, not just money. Meaning is what holds value when trends fade. In the end, the 1945 Wheat Penny is not guaranteed wealth, but it is guaranteed history. For the right example, in the right condition, with the right story, the value can be astonishing. Those who understand coins know that fortune is not created by selling too quickly, but by recognizing what should be protected. Sometimes a single cent carries the weight of an entire era, and sometimes that weight is worth far more than anyone ever imagined. Third up, the 1948 Wheat Penny carries a quiet power that many people underestimate at first sight. This coin was born in a world that was trying to breathe again after chaos, fear, and destruction. The Second World War had ended, but its shadows were still everywhere. Families were rebuilding their lives, economies were stabilizing, and hope was slowly replacing uncertainty. This penny moved through that fragile moment in history, passing from hand to hand as America stepped into a new era. Every 1948 Wheat Penny is a small witness to recovery, resilience, and the human desire to move forward. When you hold a 1948 Wheat Penny, you are touching a coin that lived in a time when money still had weight and meaning. 1 cent mattered. It bought food, contributed to meals, and helped families survive modest lives. Abraham Lincoln's image on the front stood as a reminder of unity and strength, while the wheat ears on the back symbolized nourishment, growth, and stability. These were not decorative designs. They were messages meant to reassure a nation finding its footing again. The belief that this coin can hold unimaginable wealth comes from how the coin world truly works. Value is not created by age alone, but by survival against odds. The 1948 Wheat Penny was made to be used heavily, and most of them were. They were dropped, scratched, worn thin, and eventually lost. Because of that, finding a 1948 example today that still looks almost untouched feels nearly impossible. Coins like that are no longer just cents. They are rare survivors. Condition is the silent force that transforms an ordinary historical object into something extraordinary. A sharply detailed 1948 wheat penny with strong wheat lines, a clear Lincoln portrait, and natural color becomes a completely different object in the eyes of collectors. Time is the enemy of perfection, and anything that defeats time gains respect. That respect turns into demand, and demand is what pushes values into astonishing territory. The mystery behind individual coins adds fuel to the excitement. Every 1948 wheat penny has its own journey. Some lived hard lives in circulation, while others were quietly forgotten in jars, drawers, or collections. When a nearly perfect coin emerges today, collectors don't just see metal, they see an unanswered question. How did this survive? Why does it still look alive? That mystery creates emotional tension, and emotion is a powerful driver of price. Another layer of fascination comes from unexpected uniqueness. Coins are mass-produced, yet no two lives are identical. Slight differences in strike, texture, or appearance can elevate a single coin far above the rest. When a 1948 wheat penny appears with characteristics that stand apart, it instantly captures attention. These are the moments when rumors of life-changing value begin, because rarity combined with curiosity creates explosive interest. The 1948 wheat penny also sits in a meaningful position within the wheat series itself. It belongs to the later years of a beloved design, carrying the maturity of a long tradition and the promise of a modern future. Collectors are drawn to transition points, and 1948 represents exactly that. It is neither early nor late, but perfectly placed within the story of American coinage, giving it strong historical balance. Many people unknowingly destroy value through impatience. Cleaning, polishing, or altering a coin removes its honesty. A naturally aged 1948 wheat penny tells the truth of time, and collectors respect truth above shine. Original surfaces, even with gentle toning, are far more valuable than artificial brightness. The coin's skin holds its history, and once that is damaged, the future value often disappears forever. As the years continue, untouched examples become fewer and fewer. Coins are lost to neglect, poor storage, and careless handling. At the same time, interest in tangible history grows stronger. People are searching for real objects with real stories in a digital world. That imbalance between disappearing supply and growing curiosity quietly pushes the best examples higher and higher in value. The idea of becoming wealthy overnight is not magic, it is timing and understanding. Those who recognize the importance of a rare coin before the crowd benefit the most. A 1948 wheat penny with exceptional qualities should never be rushed to market. True collectors wait, study, and protect. The coin rewards knowledge, not desperation. Emotion is the invisible currency of the coin market. A penny connected to recovery, hope, and rebuilding carries emotional weight that modern coins cannot match. When collectors feel that connection, they are willing to pay far beyond metal value. Emotional demand is stronger and more durable than trend-based hype, and it sustains value through time. The 1948 wheat penny does not promise riches to everyone, but it offers potential to those who understand it. Its power lies in history, rarity, and the stories it silently carries. Coins like this do not shout their worth, they whisper it to those who listen carefully. In the end, the 1948 wheat penny is more than a coin. It is a reminder that small things can carry enormous meaning. In the right condition, with the right story, and in the right hands, its value can be astonishing. Sometimes fortune does not arrive loudly. Sometimes it waits quietly in copper, disguised as a single cent, carrying the power to change a future when the moment is right. Fourth up. The 1953 wheat penny may look like a simple copper coin, but behind its quiet appearance hides a powerful story shaped by time, patience, and human behavior. This coin was born in a world that had moved past war but had not yet reached modern comfort. America in 1953 was rebuilding confidence, expanding industry, and redefining daily life. Money still had meaning, and even a single cent could represent effort, work, and survival. The wheat penny of this year traveled through that moment, absorbing the energy of an era that valued hard work and persistence. When you hold a 1953 wheat penny, you are holding something that lived in a transitional America. Families were growing, cities were expanding, and the economy was stabilizing into what many would later call a golden age. The image of Abraham Lincoln stood as a reminder of unity and moral strength, while the wheat ears on the reverse symbolized prosperity, growth, and stability. This was not just decoration, It was a message pressed into metal for everyday people who relied on every cent they earned. The belief that this coin can carry unimaginable wealth does not come from fantasy, but from understanding how rarity is created over time. The 1953 wheat penny was never meant to be rare. It was produced to circulate, to be spent, dropped, scratched, and forgotten. Most of them were used exactly as intended. That is why today, truly exceptional examples feel almost unnatural. Survival without damage is what transforms ordinary history into something extraordinary. Condition is the invisible line that separates common coins from elite collectibles. A 1953 wheat penny with sharp details, full wheat lines, and an untouched surface tells a completely different story than a worn one. Time is ruthless to copper, and anything that resists time gains respect. Collectors chase resistance. They chase the impossible idea that a coin meant for daily use somehow escaped wear. That chase is what creates intense demand and astonishing prices. Each individual 1953 wheat penny has its own unseen journey. Some passed through countless hands, while others were hidden away by chance, not intention. A coin forgotten in a drawer for decades becomes a mystery when rediscovered. How did it stay so clean? Why does it still look alive? These unanswered questions create emotional energy, and emotion is what turns collecting into obsession. Obsession is what drives serious money. Uniqueness plays a quiet but powerful role in value. Even coins struck in massive numbers develop individual identities over time. Slight visual differences, unusual textures, or unexpected characteristics can elevate a single coin far above the rest. When a 1953 wheat penny appears that feels different, collectors notice instantly. It breaks expectations, and anything that breaks expectations commands attention. That attention can grow into fierce competition. The 1953 wheat penny also holds importance because it belongs to the later chapter of the wheat design era. It carries the weight of a long-running tradition that was nearing its end. Collectors often feel drawn to coins from these mature years because they represent refinement, consistency, and closure. The design had reached its full expression, and that completeness adds to its appeal within the broader story of American coinage. One of the greatest mistakes people make is destroying potential without realizing it. Cleaning a 1953 wheat penny may make it shine temporarily, but it permanently erases its honesty. Collectors do not want artificial beauty, they want truth. Natural aging, original surfaces, and untouched metal are signs of authenticity. Once altered, a coin loses trust, and trust is everything in the collector world. As decades pass, untouched 1953 wheat pennies quietly disappear. Coins are mishandled, improperly stored, or lost forever. At the same time, interest in physical history grows stronger in a digital age. People want objects they can hold, stories they can feel. This imbalance between shrinking supply and growing curiosity slowly pushes the finest examples into higher value territory without noise or headlines. The idea of becoming wealthy overnight is often misunderstood. True fortune in coins comes from recognition, not rush. Those who understand what they hold do not sell in fear or excitement. They wait. They learn. They protect. A 1953 wheat penny with rare qualities rewards patience, not impulse. The coin does not shout its value, it reveals it over time. Emotion fuels the coin market more than logic. A penny connected to post-war stability, growth, and optimism carries emotional weight. Collectors respond to that weight instinctively. When emotion meets scarcity, prices can move far beyond expectations. This is not speculation, it is human nature playing out through metal and memory. The 1953 wheat penny does not promise riches to everyone who finds one, but it offers potential to those who understand its language. Its power is quiet, patient, and deeply tied to condition, originality, and story. Coins like this do not reward carelessness, they reward respect. In the end, the 1953 wheat penny is more than a 1-cent coin. It is a survivor of an era, a symbol of steady progress, and a reminder that small objects can carry massive meaning. In the right condition, with the right story, and in the right hands, its value can reach astonishing heights. Sometimes fortune does not arrive with noise and speed. Sometimes it waits silently in copper, disguised as a single cent, holding the power to change a future when the moment is right. Fifth up. The 1951 wheat penny may appear ordinary to the untrained eye, but in reality it carries a quiet force shaped by time, survival, and human behavior. This coin was born in a period when the United States was stepping firmly into post-war strength, yet everyday life was still grounded in simplicity. People worked hard, saved carefully, and respected even the smallest denomination of money. A single cent mattered, and this penny moved through that disciplined world, absorbing the energy of an era built on patience and effort. Holding a 1951 wheat penny is like touching a moment when America was finding balance between past hardship and future confidence. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front stood as a moral anchor, reminding people of unity and endurance, while the wheat ears on the back symbolized stability, food, and growth. These images were not random. They were chosen to reflect values that ordinary citizens lived by every day. This coin was not created to be rare or special, yet time had very different plans for it. The idea that this coin can be linked to unimaginable wealth comes from how rarity is truly born. The 1951 wheat penny was produced for circulation, not preservation. It was spent without hesitation, dropped into cash registers, carried in pockets, and slowly worn down by daily use. Because of this heavy circulation, most examples lost their sharpness and beauty. That is exactly why the few that survived in exceptional condition feel almost unnatural today. Condition is the silent key that unlocks extraordinary value. A 1951 wheat penny with strong detail, clear wheat lines, and an untouched surface becomes a completely different object in the collector's mind. Copper is unforgiving to time, and anything that resists wear gains respect. Collectors chase resistance. They chase the idea that something meant to be temporary somehow defeated decades of handling and neglect. Every 1951 wheat penny carries a unique, invisible journey. Some lived hard lives, others were quietly forgotten in drawers, jars, or old collections. When one emerges today looking nearly perfect, it creates immediate tension and curiosity. How did it survive? Why was it spared? That mystery creates emotion, and emotion fuels desire. Desire, when shared by collectors, transforms into competition. Uniqueness adds another powerful layer to value. Even among millions of coins, subtle differences can separate one from the rest. Texture, strike appearance, and overall presence can make a single penny feel special without obvious explanation. When a 1951 wheat penny feels different in hand and appearance, collectors notice instantly. Anything that stands apart from expectations becomes memorable, and memorability drives demand. The position of the 1951 wheat penny within the wheat series also strengthens its appeal. It belongs to the later years of a design that had already earned deep respect. The design was mature, familiar, and trusted. Collectors are often drawn to these later years because they represent refinement rather than experimentation. This sense of completion adds emotional weight to the coin story. One of the most damaging mistakes people make is altering a coin without understanding its consequences. Cleaning a 1951 wheat penny may create temporary shine, but it permanently removes honesty. Collectors value originality above everything else. Natural aging, even with soft toning, tells the truth of time. Once that truth is erased, much of the coin's potential disappears with it. As years continue to pass, untouched 1951 wheat pennies quietly vanish. Coins are lost, damaged, mishandled, or destroyed, while interest in tangible history steadily increases. In a world dominated by digital value, physical objects with real stories become more desirable. This imbalance between shrinking supply and growing curiosity slowly pushes exceptional examples into higher value territory. The idea of becoming wealthy overnight is often misunderstood. True fortune in coins comes from awareness, not impulse. Those who recognize what they hold do not rush to sell. They study, protect, and wait. A rare 1951 wheat penny rewards patience and knowledge, not excitement or fear. The coin reveals its value only to those willing to respect it. Emotion plays a massive role in why certain coins command astonishing prices. A penny connected to stability, growth, and quiet confidence carries emotional weight. Collectors feel that weight instinctively. When emotion meets scarcity, logic often steps aside. This is how prices move beyond expectations and into legend. The 1951 wheat penny does not guarantee wealth to everyone who finds one, but it offers potential to those who understand its language. Its power is subtle, slow, and deeply tied to condition, originality, and story. Coins like this do not reward carelessness, they reward respect and patience. In the end, the 1951 wheat penny is far more than a 1-cent coin. It is a survivor of a disciplined era, a symbol of steady progress, and a reminder that small objects can hold enormous meaning. In the right condition, with the right story, and in the right hands, its value can rise to astonishing levels. Sometimes fortune does not arrive loudly or quickly. Sometimes it waits silently in copper, disguised as a single cent, carrying the power to change a future when the moment is right.